Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Happy Sabbath. Uh, Today, I came here to take the nature talk. So when I was thinking of what I am supposed to actually take, nothing. No, when we are, for example, if we are taking any nature talk, we take some trees, or we take some animals, or we take some flowers, and we speak about the features or the characteristic, how it is connected to Bible. But this time when I was preparing for nature talk, nothing satisfied my mind, because from past 1 month or from past 2 months we are seeing a lot of deaths happening. So I thought, why not implementing nature, that nature teaches many lessons. So why not implementing the lessons of the nature to console people who are losing their loved ones, and also implementing nature and showing that we also should have hope. So let us start with a verse. We'll see the book of John, chapter 11, verse 25. It says, Jesus said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. Believest thou this? So, the nature talk which I am taking now, I pray to God that it would be useful for at least one person who's watching live or who's sitting here. And so, uh, grief or pain is something each and every human heart will face in some or the other way. Not just by losing loved ones, it's by any difficulties which we get. Grief and pain is something which every one of us here who is sitting or who's watching live will be facing through. So even in this sorrow, God promises, and He has never left us alone. We need to praise God for the beautiful Sabbath which He has given to us today. Where many people are not seeing the Sabbath today, God has given us a privilege to see this beautiful Sabbath. We need to praise God's name, and God has never left us alone in this, in our sorrows. Uh, and also not only through word. We believe that God has spoken and His words are in the Bible. And the second way which God speaks, we all of us know that God speaks through nature. So deep, if we look deep into the nature, it gently reminds that uh, the sorrow, the pain, the death is not just the end. God has a plan, and every sorrow, every pain will be turned into joy. So, for today's nature talk, when I was thinking of what title I am supposed to give, I just thought, and next slide, given the title as Nature, a Book in Distress. So, we'll learn only four short lessons which nature teaches us, so that we can fill ourselves with hope. The first one is the leaf, the falling leaf. So during an autumn season, before, I think few months back, my sister had also taken about autumn season, how the leaves fall. So during autumn season, what does it happen? The leaves usually fall. The dead leaf, the waste content that are present within the tree, everything within the dead leaf, it stores, and the leaves falls away. So whenever the leaves fall away, what do we observe? We observe a tree which is without flesh, a tree without leaf. Just like how the body, if it doesn't have flesh, how does it look like? The tree also looks the same. But uh, the but people don't feel bad, because once after this autumn season finishes, people know that the leaves will grow again. The recycle process of the regrowing leaves will come back again. So just like that, if our loved ones have fallen asleep, then we have to know that death is not the end. It is a temporary rest until that glorious spring morning of resurrection comes. For this, we'll read a verse from 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 14. For if we believe that Jesus died and rose again, even so them also which sleep in Jesus will God bring with him. this is the first lesson which we have to learn from nature. Just like how the leaves fall and regrows back again, that death is not the end, and people will have life after that too. The second lesson is the seed must die to live again. Before planting anything in our gardens, what do? We just don't keep the seed in our hand and we don't hope that the seed should grow. We take the seed, we put it in a proper soil, we give proper manure to it, we bury it completely, and then the seed will grow into a sapling, the sapling will grow into the plant, and the plant will give the plant will become a fruit bearing tree. Just like that, when the burial of our loved ones is not the end, they are just asleep, and the resurrection is very near for them. And once the resurrection happens, there will be definitely a reunion. Next slide. For this, we'll read a verse in John chapter 12 verse 24. Verily, verily, I say unto you, except a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone, but if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit. Once when the seed is buried only into a proper soil, only then the seed will become more stronger, greener, and it will turn into more fruitful plant. The third lesson is the rainbow after the storm. Sometimes we feel like the storms which we face in our life, the grief, the distress which we face in our life is like a huge storm which doesn't end. But the storm also has a limit. The storm, there is an end for the storm too. And once, if all of you know the story of Noah, once after the flood ended, God gave a promise in the form of a rainbow. So the nature teaches us that the storms are a part of life, but so are the new mornings, fresh hope, and God's unfailing presence. The promise which Noah had as a rainbow, the same thing is continuing even for us too, showing that God is not leaving us alone. His grace and His mercy is always upon us. So for that, we'll read a verse from Psalms chapter 30 verse 5. For His anger endureth but a moment, in His favor is life. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. So weeping, the pain, the distress we have will be only for a while, but the greater promise is God is going to come and He'll wipe all of our tears away. The last lesson is the ocean's tide, a reminder of return. So most of y'all have went to beach, have had a good time in the nature, right? So whenever you see a tide, what does the tide do? It comes towards us and it goes back away. We feels like the way the tide moves away from us, we sometimes feel like it will never come back again. But what does the tide does? It rises back and then it comes back. So the ones we love have gone out. The ones we love who are gone away from us, it is like they have also moved along with the tide. But God promises that they will return when the trumpet sounds. Let us read a verse, Job chapter 14 verse 14. If a man die, shall he live again? All the days of my appointed time will I wait till my change comes. So we all have to be prepared. Being in distress that we lost our loved ones, or being in pain that we did something wrong, is will waste our time much. But we have to prepare ourselves even more, correct ourselves. We have to prepare ourselves to see God and to see all our loved ones. We have to wait for the reunion. And we have to keep one thing in mind always, is that the grave is not the end. It is just the low tide before the tide of resurrection.